should we be stubborn as Africa and say this is when we host our tournament? This is when we host our tournament. The problem is yours.
The so-called small teams that might look at getting players from Africa and think, hey, what happens in a situation like Wolves now? They're losing 2 players.
They're losing as many players as they've got points.
You get what I mean?
Arsenal somehow skid past embarrassment. And should Hugo Bruce keep his mouth shut? This is Black and White Boots.
Hugo.
Hey, that man. And it's not the first time.
Yeah, it's this shit from the hip, man. And
we like it most of the time.
yeah, but I think
this was
I think it
out
was
of
the line
order.
a bit. Yeah, no, it was
out of order.
line.
I like a lot of what he said in general. And then there's the most obvious of what he said that's caused all the controversy.
Yeah.
And it's like, now that's out of line. And, you know, maybe it's one of those elements that we look back at and we say, has he done a good job as a coach for Bafana Bafana? Yes. Should we be compromising on the values that we require for someone who's representing our national team in order for on the pitch success? That's the question to be had. Because I remember before the 2010 World Cup, when we went and spent all that money on a foreign manager, how much, I wouldn't say necessarily outrage, but it was slightly controversial that we didn't use a South African coach.
Yeah, true. Especially for that kind of money, you know.
Yes.
And also, if you look at our history, you've got the late Clive Barker who wanted, I would say, less money to take us to the World Cup in 1998. And Safa gave him the middle finger, you know, and then fast forward to 2010, you were spending millions on foreign coaches who actually
Carlos
did not.
Alberto Pereira.
Who did nothing. Santana. Was it Santana? Joel Santana. Who, remember Joel Santana came through for Confed. We had Pereira and then he left. Joel Santana came through for Confed and I think they had Safa spoke to Pereira and then Pereira came back for the World Cup back. You know, so you just... Yeah, I think the old man was out of line, and I saw a statement from Safa, but there is no apology there, you know, and it's sort of like they're protecting him, and I think they're just thinking that whatever stance whatever he says, I don't think it outweighs him going to AFCON with Bafana Bafana. And in Safa's view, those are not my views. I just think they just believe that we still need him as a coach.
I think that, it would be a crazy time to discipline him now and wait till the tournament's over.
Yeah. Anyway, he's leaving after the World Cup.
After the World Cup,
But I think they should have maybe come out with a statement for him to apologize, you know, and because they're saying it's sort of like he was taken out of context.
Sure. That's a big defense.
Yeah, it's a big defense. You know,
I found it interesting, Gated McKenzie's comments on it, where I don't like to criticize politicians when they say they want to investigate and figure out what's going on before they comment on the situation. But I think on the back of the big hugs and the celebrations he is giving to Mbokazi in particular, who's largely the victim in this public statement, in this criticism. And to be such a big supporter of Mbokazi and giving him a big hug and everything, and then to backtrack like a politician and say, I have no comment at this time. I want to investigate and figure out exactly what's going on before I say something. So I'm like up in the air on that in particular.
But also, was it a storm out of a teacup with the coach? I mean, the guy missed his flight and it was communicated. Do you think it was a storm out of a teacup?
I think if that was all it is, then this is the most ridiculous conversation we're having. Because why would you make such outrageous comments if that was all? But what I found interesting with the interview is how he criticized Orlando Pirates PR team, the discussion team that was sending him messages and explaining the situation. And he said with nonsense, real nonsense. I think the entire situation was probably handled so badly that it left him in a position of such anger that he came out and said these ridiculous things. Now, I sound like I'm defending him too much in a way, because his comments just keep quiet, maybe.
Yeah, I think
just keep quiet.
I think would have done better. It would have been better if he had just kept quiet, and said,
Definitely.
Just let it go. It looks like now he's got issues with other people as well, and he found an opportunity to jab
a week before kickoff.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
Or just over a week before kickoff. It's a real shame.
Yeah.
But the squad is in Morocco.
Okay.
And preparing for their first fixture against Angola.
No, they haven't left. Remember, they're playing tomorrow. Or today, basically.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they haven't left. They still have a friendly with Ghana.
Right. They have a friendly with Ghana on the 16th.
And then after that, they will
South Africa. That's right.
Then after they would leave, yeah.
That's right. So the camp is together, not
the camp is together, yes. Yeah, I think that's
so
what
the preparations have started.
Yeah, the preparation have started.
Right.
Without your Campbell, Lyle Foster,
who've been given extra time
and to travel because they were in action over the weekend with their respective clubs in Europe.
That's right. So they will join the squad in the coming days. Unlikely to feature today in the friendly against Ghana.
Yeah.
But sure, it's so much going on in that camp. We just hope that it all is
just
with us.
Yeah,
it's outside the walls of the camp and nothing's sitting with anybody there and everyone's okay. And then it can sit with us all we want, and the press and the newspapers and everybody can sit with us as long as it doesn't affect the players ahead of Morocco.
Yeah, and I think it sort of like shifts the focus from the player to the coach, which could work to the player's advantage.
Yeah, hopefully. And we're looking forward to a good tournament. And I think we'll cover more of that on Monday. So next week's episode will launch early in preparation for Bafana against Angola.
Of course, it's going to be a big one.
Christmas cracker.
Yep, that's it.
So, before we jet off to Morocco next week, this weekend's football action, of course, nothing happening domestically. Everyone preparing for AFCON. Premier League.
Yeah, and Pirates. Is it even worth talking about?
Well, we discussed Pirates winning Carling knockout.
Yeah, and on Saturday they won they beat the All-Stars, remember? So
that's right. And
look, I think it was just a friendly match. It's an exhibition match, but for Orlando Pirates, you could tell from Coach Wadu that there's no such thing as a friendly match.
Right.
Even when they scored their first goal, he ran to the corner to celebrate with the players.
So Orlando Pirates still have 2 trophies this season.
Yeah, no, they still have 2 trophies.
It's not 3.
Yeah, no, it's not 3.
We want to be clear on that, right?
It's not an official tournament, that one.
Yeah.
It's a one day. It's an exhibition match.
Yeah. But Itumeleng Khune was man of the match for that fixture 2 years ago.
2 years ago, not last year, yeah. Yeah, no, but it's still a clean sweep. Whatever's there on offer, they're taking. If you think about it.
That's it. If it's there, they want to win it.
Yeah, but what I liked about, because I watched that match, what I like about it is the support that it was shown to the 2 teams in Durban. People from Durban came out in their numbers to support the clubs. And also to see the young stars from All Stars, who were given the chance. Jos Torres as a centre back he had a very, very good game. You look at Paris, that a guy like Luthuli scoring, who has been on loan from different teams, and he's a Paris graduate, and then he was sent out on loans. He got an opportunity, he grabbed it with both hands, he scored. Radio Pan, who was given opportunities in the beginning of the season, couldn't crack it. He was given a nod yesterday. He went on and scored. So those are, those games are necessary for such kind of, reasons, so that other players that are not really getting game time and all of that can prove themselves. And I think it was a good outing for Coach Wadu, and also for him to assess who else can you bring into the fold.
Pirates' squad isn't as big as it once was. which hasn't deterred them. But when players come back from AFCON, if they pick up injuries with Bafana, for example,
Yes.
it's going to be important to be able to push this young blood into the squad.
Yeah, definitely. So I think more than anything, that game just gave Coach Wadi to try out other players. Nda, who was coming back from long-term injury, was given a chance to play. Makaula, Sesane, they were all out on long-term injury. Especially, what I liked is Sesane and Da, because they're centre backs, and with Bokazi leaving, Siama is gonna need another partner, and then out of those two, obviously CBC is there to partner with Siama immediately, but at the bench you need quality, and Nda and Sesane just sort of like brings you that. And for them to be coming back from long-term injury and getting like full 90 minutes to play in a competitive match without pressure, I think it was good for them.
And everything Pirates touches domestically, not continentally.
Yeah, for this season. Yeah,
for this season, turns to gold.
Yeah, not true. And again, they were not enterprising. Pirates, they're just efficient. They maximize on their opportunities. They were not efficient at all they were not enterprising at all in the first half. They just maximized on their opportunities, and they won 2-0. That All-Stars team showed they showed good sign until some forced sub to the goalkeeper and all of that sort of like destabilized them a bit. But more than anything, it was a well-balanced game.
Okay. Well, moving on.
Yeah, of course.
To
other parts of the world.
Our second home.
Yeah.
England, Premier League. A fixture that we said Chelsea might struggle with, although they were at home at Stamford Bridge against Everton.
Yeah.
It's nice to have Cole Palmer back, clearly, because it was an easier outing than what it should have been. It's leading 2-0 at halftime and just closing out the game at 2-0. That's goals from Cole Palmer and Carlo Gusto.
Yeah, Cole Palmer is quality.
I mean, we know that. He's the best player in that Chelsea squad for sure. And he's one of the top players in the league.
My issue is Chelsea is the same. I don't think they're serious contenders because they're not consistent. And that has been my stance ever since this season started. They blow hot and cold. And for the Premier League,
you can't do that.
You can't do that.
Yeah. But maybe you can. If Arsenal are going to drop the ball.
Are they dropping the ball?
It feels like it. We'll get to their fixture in a bit.
Okay.
Liverpool grateful for Hugo Ekitike. If you take Hugo Ekitike's goals out of that Liverpool side, they'll be flirting with relegation.
Yeah.
He's single-handedly earned Liverpool a whole lot of points. When it was the earlier games in the season, he was getting them over the line, couple late goals, etc., good performances. And again this weekend against Brighton at home, Hugo Ekitike popping in with 2 goals, getting Liverpool over the line in that game. Look, was an easier fixture than what they have been experiencing. It seems like all of the drama around Mo Salah subsided and it didn't really impact the team too much.
He got to play earlier. I mean, he was on the bench, but
yeah, he came on as a sub, and this is his last fixture before going off to AFCON with Egypt. He got his name sung by the fans. He got applauded by the fans. He got good recognition, and I think it was important for him. And in a way, if this is his Anfield goodbye, at least it's a more fitting Anfield goodbye than what we were seeing in previous weeks.
But I doubt it's the last time we're seeing Mo Salah at Anfield. I think whatever happened, I think it's water under the bridge. They're going to try and work it out, and because I foresee him coming back to Liverpool in January. I don't think they're going to sell him, because selling him could also be very, very detrimental. You don't just go out and sell a player like Mo Salah over such kind of squabbles.
Yeah.
I think you have to, if you're a manager, you have to put your foot down, which I think Arne Slot did by excluding him in that Champions League fixture. But more than anything, leadership requires you to manage this kind of situation, and you have to manage it with integrity and also value what the player brings to the squad.
He's still the best player in Liverpool's squad.
Definitely, still the best player in the Premier League. Still, he's there in the. I'll say he's in the top 5 this season. Still, what? You're not convinced
Okay, I'm not convinced he's the best player in the league
right now.
But he's definitely in the top 5
Mm.
in terms of the best players in the league. He's the best player in that Liverpool squad for now. However,
Yeah.
if the club deems that their financial valuation for the player is best suited to be met in January rather than in the summer, because this is guaranteed to be his last season at Liverpool, surely.
Didn't he renew for 2 years?
But surely this is his last, right? Surely that renewal was so that they can still sell him for money, so he doesn't go for free. Because he's on big wages. He's on big wages. They need to recover some of those wages, right? So I think it's a boardroom thing more than anything. And if the offers come from Saudi now in January, especially if he plays well at AFCON, they're going to take it, I feel. I get the sense they're going to take it.
I think you might be onto something because financially it will make sense for them to accept whatever. Looking at his age, and he's not that old, yes, but I mean, he's at the age where if you don't sell him,
you're not
more
going to
likely
get money.
you're more likely to lose him for free, or you might just be forced to give him another year when his current contract ends. I think you might have to cash out.
I think so. I think the club's
And
looking
also-
at that and evaluating that. And I think
Because it can
that,
still be a big move money.
yeah, he'll still be a big money move right now
Yeah.
to Saudi. I think he's still one of the top players around. He's super dangerous. I think he's still worth mega money as things stand. And I think the only reasonable outlet for Liverpool to get some money is from Saudi. Because I don't think anyone in the Premier League is going to go spend big money on him at his age. And the rest of Europe don't have the sort of money to pay for. I mean, what, are Roma going to come back in for him? No.
No.
Roma don't have the money to go in for Salah.
It's most likely Saudi.
That's his most likely destination, right? And it would make a lot of sense. I
To
think
fit,
if that offer comes in, and I think that offer's on the table already.
Yeah,
The Saudis don't seem to wait to do their thing. I think that they've already put their interest forward.
yeah.
And I have a sense that move will happen in January. And I also think that although Salah came on and had an impact in the match, I think there might have been incentive from above on a slot. Like, don't lose this game. But if things are going well for us, play him.
Yeah, we need this guy.
Play him. We need to show
that is still part of the plans.
that he's part of the plans so that we don't get undercut on this deal. And I think there might have been a little bit of boardroom influence as to why Salah made an appearance at Anfield on Saturday.
Yeah, because coming to think of it, the comeback was too quick. I thought like a lot of people after being dropped for Champions League thought, Mo Salah is gone to AFCON without playing at Anfield. And yeah, he was on the bench and then he got in from the bench. You could be onto something. I think
that's worth 10, 20, 30 million pounds to Liverpool. The fact that he played on Saturday.
Yeah.
If the plan is to let him go in January.
Yeah.
With the season not going so well, Salah's still a player who's going to give you goals and assists. It might just be, hey, make him happy. He deserves his spot. He's going to help us survive this.
Because again, look, I believe that he's going to stay. But if you look at it, Slot will be looking at the season and the powers that be at Liverpool that there's no way we're going to challenge still.
Surely not.
Surely not. Top 4 years. Do we have enough cover to get us to top 4? I think they do have enough quality to see them off to top 4.
Yeah, I mean, currently they're only 2 points off a fourth.
It's not a lot.
It's not a lot at all.
So
and they've got a better, more expensive squad.
It might be wise to let him go. I think I'm convinced. It might be wise to let him go.
It's going to be a subject to follow in AFCON, watching how he plays for Egypt. And I get the feeling that January is already out. But I think that at the very least, ahead of the World Cup, he'll have already announced a move elsewhere. Moving on, Arsenal, Wolverhampton Wanderers. Oh my goodness.
What do you call that? Was that a wake-up call for Arsenal?
How many wake-up calls do Arsenal need after the past 3 years?
Do you think they're tanking?
I think that Arsenal are the best football club in Premier League history as a club, from footballing terms.
Yeah.
I also think that they have the weakest mentality of any top-tier club. I really do. Because Arsenal, for too many seasons, have been the best team in footballing terms and not been able to win a Premier League title.
Just based purely on mentality.
And I think it's purely on mentality. I really think so, because how is the best team in the league stumbling and tripping and falling and slipping all the time? I mean, Wolves have 2 points to their name. It's the worst return at this point of a Premier League season in the history of Premier League as Premier League format.
Yeah.
At this stage of the season, excluding COVID, but it's also because of at this stage of the season, there were fewer games played over the COVID period. But you needed 2 own goals, and one of them a last-minute own goal.
But look, some will argue that the comeback in the dire minutes of the game is the hallmark of champions.
It certainly is, but it wasn't mentality that got them there. Did you watch it?
Yeah, no.
Against Wolves, a very clumsy side. That Man United were poor against Wolves, let's be honest, and won that game, 4-1? And Man United were poor against Wolves. Wolves can't defend. I think it's concerning. So
is it only mentality, or should we now look at the fact that they still haven't got most of their, like the defense? There's problems at the defense. Right. Calafiori is still out. Gabriel. Now Ben White is out, which might just
injuries play a factor.
Yeah,
injuries definitely play a factor. But you know what a time to have injuries is when you're playing Wolves.
Yeah, it's Wolves who are like, yes, they're nowhere this season.
Wolves is the worst Premier League side I've seen in a long time as a Premier League side. They're a championship side
at this current
format. Last season, they just escaped relegation, and they're way worse than that side that escaped relegation last season. Way worse. They don't even look like the same team. They're gone. They're gone. They're a championship side. And they made it hard work for Arsenal. Look, I do think Wolves are better than the points that they're showing. But they're not good enough to still be in the Premier League.
Yeah, and more so, they were not good enough to...
And my criticism of Arsenal from a mentality standpoint is a compliment to their footballing capability. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you're still winning games, but I think you're the best footballing side in the Premier League.
Games like those should be coming easy for you.
Should be. And I think there's I don't know if it's the amount of pressure that comes onto a squad that is 20 years without a title, or however long it is.
It's difficult. You have to first breach that gap. You know?
And I think that City were pushing that barrier for a while, where they had a good side and they had spent a bunch of money. And once that first hurdle fell over,
once you turn
it starts rolling over.
And the mentality comes. Whoever comes through, understand the team's...
And I think Man United are showing you that when it starts to fall off, how hard it is to come back up.
Yeah.
You know, and I think Man United still got a good few years before they're challenging for titles again. And I think that's a factor. And Chelsea's one of those sides that sort of hasn't lost that bounce and edge that they have, because they always seem like every 4 or 5 years they're there and thereabouts. You know, regardless of what's been going on, Chelsea will always come back and push for a title. I think Chelsea showed that they have one of the strongest mentalities for a top side in the Premier League.
Yeah, for me, I think
Arsenal, as a club, from a club culture standpoint, because you can't criticize. I can't talk about Arsenal's mentality now currently and say that you know it's because of previous years. The squad's different, the manager's different.
Yeah, it's
a lot of stuff's different. Yeah. But so I think it's like there's a club mentality problem at Arsenal. And here's me saying this and still saying I expect them to be champions come the end of the season.
Yeah.
But they're going to need a little bit more mental fortitude.
More than ever now, because City are just 2 points behind, who are breathing over their neck. And there will be match days where City goes play first and then they go above. and Arsenal will have to dig deep to come back to reclaim their spot at the top, and that requires a lot of mental strength. So I think they are in a position where I wanted them to be. And I think winning the Premier League in that fashion, it just goes to show that you are capable.
I think there's no side more capable than Manchester City. I think they've got the best squad in the league.
I don't think they've got the best squad in the league.
Who has a better squad than Manchester City?
I would say Chelsea and Liverpool have got better squad than
Go through Chelsea's lineup. Goalkeeper.
Nah. Yeah, no, Donnarumma is way better.
4 times over.
Yeah.
Sanchez. I think that there's 3 goalkeepers in City squad better than Robert Sanchez.
Yeah, maybe Chelsea not, but
defenders. City centre-backs are better than Chelsea centre-backs.
Ruben Dias is good quality.
Maybe fullbacks, I would agree. I think that Chelsea have better fullbacks as defenders. But Man City are playing wingers as fullbacks.
Yeah.
Because that's, they're going to
they'll
impose
dominate
themselves.
you.
They will dominate you.
Yeah.
They will dominate you. Central midfield, again, I think that Chelsea have a very good central midfield.
Central midfield, I think Chelsea's better.
Because of Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez.
Yeah.
Is Rodri not better than both those players?
Rodri's out.
But I'm talking about a squad.
Yeah, look, I base that on what is currently available for Manchester City right now.
Reyners?
No, he's not that. He's not there yet. And also, he's playing more as a number 8 than a number 6. Nico Gonzalez is sort of
the only other position I'll perhaps lean towards Chelsea slightly is that I think Cole Palmer shades Phil Foden slightly. If even.
Yeah.
They're such like for like. They're on par. Exactly. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying that's the only one that I'll... Then the rest of the forward line, Doku's better than anyone that City's got on either wing. Pedro Neto, I like. Good player. But nowhere near Jeremy Doku. Nowhere near Ryan Shirky. And Haaland is the best number 9 in world football.
Yeah, look, I mean, Pedro is good, but not on Haaland's
So you're
level.
saying Chelsea have a better squad than City now that we go through it?
Look, it's difficult because
I think there's 2 sides that maybe you'd win the argument. Chelsea's not one of those 2 sides. I think one of those sides, Arsenal, maybe have a comparable squad with City, although I still think City shade them. I think that City have a better side.
Look, I think City is full of new players that are not really tested. Like, if you look at our number 6, Nico Gonzalez, I think he's a quality player, but he's not yet at the level where I think... okay, let me put it this way. I don't think he's at the level of a Rodri when City won the Champions League.
Nobody is.
Yeah, I suppose nobody is. Yeah.
He was the best player in the world.
Shaky is doing all those things, but he's still not at that level of your Kevin De Bruyne. Maybe I think I'm saying they don't have the best squad based on
how good City was.
How good City was, and compared to the current squad that City has right now, which is in transition, and they're not yet at the level where Pep wants them. And I think they've got potential to still get there. Maybe I'm basing my argument on that.
I think so, because if you look at the rest of the squads around them, I think that the squad that I actually think is most comparable with theirs is Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool.
Because I think if you look back to front, Liverpool have serious quality.
Yeah, no, Liverpool.
I think if you look at the likes of Alisson, Van Dijk, McAllister, Szoboszlai, and Isak, Ekitike, Salah, there's a lot of quality in that Liverpool squad. But I do still think, for me, City have the best squad in the league, and even with these injuries, they're 2 points off of the title, off of challenging for the title.
And they didn't have the greatest of starts, to be honest with you.
No, they had quite a poor start in terms of Manchester City.
Yeah, look, I think,
I mean, if we think about that Manchester derby a few weeks ago, it's a good few weeks ago. Coming into that Manchester derby, it was a bit like, both these teams are doing poorly. This is one of the worst Manchester derbies in a long, long while that we've seen. And from there, City haven't seemed to really look back that much.
Yeah, look. Yeah, I think I'm just basing it on the current form of new players trying to integrate into the team.
Yeah, and I think that your standards are unusually high based on
which is
how
unfair
good-
for the players who have just started.
because
I'm not a fan of Nico Gonzalez right now, just because I've seen how the previous number 6 held that position and what he's doing. Yes, he's good, but yes, he just makes a lot of like silly mistakes. That
I think if you're a City fan, the problem is you're comparing him to Rodri and Fabinho.
yeah,
Then it's like
yeah,
those are top
Yeah,
players.
no, I mean-
so it's difficult, but I think he'll get there. He's shown glimpses. Let's be honest.
yeah.
He's shown
He has
glimpses
shown
of serious
glimpses,
quality.
yeah.
Elsewhere, Forest thumping Spurs. We talk about Chelsea as a team that you say you don't know what you're going to get. Spurs are a good side
Yeah.
when they play well. Sometimes you watch Spurs play and you're like, okay, that's a good football side.
Yeah.
Then you go get thumped 3-0 by Forest,
Who has been struggling?
who's been struggling.
Yeah.
Okay, I think they have improved a lot under Sean Dyche.
Yeah.
I think that if they went to play against an Ange Postecoglou Forest earlier this season, they would have thumped them.
Yeah, of course.
Because that was a poor side.
Yeah.
But Forest aren't that poor side anymore.
Not at all.
They're quite good. But to get a thumping like that is
Mm.
not good enough for Spurs.
Mm-mm.
And for a manager who's been so level-headed over all the time that we've seen him in the Premier League, to be as flustered as he is in interviews goes to show you how difficult the Spurs job is for him.
It is. And also, I mean, he just stepped into a Spurs that was so disorganized, after Ange left. I think this is a transition season and there's not much that he can do. I think we still need to give him time to instill his philosophy, get maybe 2 or 3 personnel of his liking. And obviously, with other players coming back from injury, I think he will improve that side because he's a quality manager. No doubt about that. I think it's just a matter of time. And unfortunately, in the Premier League, transition period for some comes immediately, for some comes in the second season. You know what I mean? But he's going through a transition which came early for him because he inherited a team that was not really firing on all cylinders.
In all fairness, they're 9 points off relegation in 11th place.
Yeah.
We're talking about it like it's not nearly good enough, which for Spurs in general is probably not nearly good enough.
Yeah.
They were nearly relegated last season.
That's what I'm saying. He inherited a team that was in shambles. So
they won a Europa League. They played really well against PSG in the UEFA Super Cup. And I think he's the right manager for the job. I think that their squad is good enough. They got some good players there.
It's got some good players. That's what I'm saying.
But they're gonna have to keep shopping. They're gonna have to spend some more money in January. They're gonna have to spend some money in the summer as well to improve the squad. And I just wonder if they're gonna have to just keep pushing in Europe where they are now because it might not be in the cards for them next season. Looking elsewhere again, we say this every week. Next week the story's gonna change.
Yeah,
it's so tight. It's so tight in the Premier League that the story changes every week, and depending on results that happen, it's going to change again. Now, one of the things as the season started, or actually before the season started, when I saw Sunderland got promoted into the Premier League in their playoff final, in the Championship playoff final, was, oh yes, baby, the Tyne-Wear derby's back.
Yeah.
Sunderland versus Newcastle is back, and it's not going to disappoint, whatever. But when you looked at it, it was Sunderland is the newly promoted side and Newcastle's on fire. Newcastle were a tremendously good side last season. They had a really difficult summer where they were fighting with Liverpool the whole way through. Isak was firing them through the season. They ended up losing Isak.
Yeah.
They ended up not getting prime target Hugo Ekitike. And then you look through the rest of the league, they made signings. They're buying players from Brentford, and then the deal that has to get cancelled because of all. They had a tough summer, and it's showing. And I'd have never said when I said the Tyne-Wear derby's back and the first one we see back is going to go in Sunderland's favour.
How monumental was that win for Sunderland?
It was huge. I don't think that people get how big that derby is in general.
That derby is insane,
giant.
bro.
It's a giant derby, and it means so much. And you could see the fire on the pitch. It felt like an old Tyne-Wear derby. It hasn't gone away.
I mean, I think Sunderland, more than anything in that fixture, they brought the pure passion, atmosphere. It was insane. When I watched it, I'm like, flipping hell. Look, I mean, into the game, I think tactically, Sunderland was disciplined, which frustrated Newcastle to an extent. But also, Newcastle did not impose themselves enough to cause troubles for for Sunderland. It was a very dry first half, but more than anything, I think that game was just like the atmosphere for that game just made it so beautiful to watch.
Yeah, it's always a good one to watch, and I think they're excited for the return fixture on that one as well. It's going to be a good one.
The reason I'm asking you how monumental was that game, because I think in a manner, the way in which Sunderland has been playing this season, and then go and having to go win against your rival like that, I think that's just going to springboard them even to a higher.
Absolutely. Listen, Sunderland are level on points with Liverpool.
That's crazy. Newly promoted
Sunderland. Granit Xhaka has been a revelation.
Yeah,
he's been a grand signing.
Insane.
He's been incredible. But
he's probably going to be more of a legend of Sunderland than
Arsenal.
Of Arsenal,
I think so.
Yeah, in the manner in which he's been playing, and
how important it is to have Sunderland be where they are.
Yeah, and if he can play another 2-3 seasons and keep them and help keep them in the Premier League, I think that will be massive.
I agree. They level on points with Liverpool. We were talking about how bad it is for Spurs to be sitting in 11th with 22 points rather. Newcastle, Champions League Newcastle. Okay, Spurs have qualified for Champions League through Europa League as well. But Champions League through qualifying through Premier League performances. Champions League Newcastle are in 12th on 22 points.
Whoa.
We speak about that relativity that we're talking about, and we're saying this isn't good enough for Spurs, but relative to where they were nearly relegated last season, it's an improvement. Now, relatively, Newcastle, where they were, where they are now, that's a big dip off.
And they've lost goals. They've lost goals in Isak. I mean, Wilson was gone even last season. So,
although I mean, their top goal scorer scored this weekend.
The German
Nick Voltemada. This was just wrong net this time.
Yeah. Look, can I ask you? Do you think with what Newcastle has, in terms of financial backing, and all of that, the infrastructure that the investors have put together, do you think Eddie Howe is the guy to take him to greater heights?
I like Eddie Howe. I do like him.
I think he's a Bournemouth manager, bro.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't think he's a guy that...
I like Eddie Howe, but I think I'd have to be presented with an alternative for Newcastle. And I'll say, you know what, him. All right. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just that Unai Emery is not available.
Yeah.
Who else are you going to look at? Roberto De Zerbi. He's not available.
Yeah.
So if you look at really who's available for Newcastle, and also what you're talking about from financial structure and stuff, Newcastle would be flying right now. They would have been able to pick up whoever they want.
Yeah.
If it weren't for FFP.
Yeah.
Financial fair play is why Newcastle's struggling. And it shows you just how unfair financial fair play really is because Manchester United and Liverpool and Chelsea still spend money however they want.
Yeah, they've got big revenues,
They've got big revenues. The Newcastle just can't match those sort of revenues. And it's rough. It's rough on Newcastle. But maybe they just need time. I like Eddie Howe. I think he's a
great
manager.
manager, but I think it's like Graham Potter. They're good for the so-called smaller team.
I agree. A bit like a Graham Potter, but until Newcastle get to a level where they can compete, whether it's financially or whatever, they're going to be stuck with Eddie Howe. Speaking of Unai Emery, Aston Villa.
Bro, they're flying. Eh?
How many wins in a row is that?
Sure. It's probably like 6.
I mean, I'd have to go through their fixtures individually. It's a whole bunch of wins in a row. If I can't, I don't know what to say about Aston Villa anymore. I mean, they're a great side. And Unai Emery, I was saying, we were talking about it actually early in the season. We were talking about, is Ruben Amorim the man for the job at Manchester United, whatever. And one of the names that we brought out was Unai Emery. And I said everyone was saying he's one of the best managers in the league and he should be the guy and whatever. And look at them now. Well, look at them now.
Of course. Look, if even when Aston Villa was down there, if you doubted Unai's credibility, I think it would have been unfair on him. I mean, what that guy did with Sevilla was crazy. you remember those back-to-backs, Europa League champions.
Yeah.
I mean, he's proven. And when he took over Aston Villa, who would have thought that Aston Villa would be in a position of Champions League?
The last game that Aston Villa lost in the Premier League
Yeah.
was against Liverpool on the 1st of November. But before that, they won 3 games in a row against City, Spurs, and Burnley. And Fulham, so it was 4 games in a row, which was after their draws with Sunderland, Everton, etc., when they were struggling. Draws with Newcastle, a loss to Brentford,
draw with
a loss
Sunderland.
to Palace. Yeah, so that was the form they were in. They went from draw with Newcastle, lost to Brentford, lost to Palace, draw with Everton, draw with Sunderland. So all of a sudden, win, 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 loss, win, 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 win.
That's crazy. He's gunning for that top 4. Definitely.
Absolutely. And I think you and I received some criticism last week for saying this team's not in a title chase. This team is. And our criticism was, how can you say one team is and the other team isn't when they're on the same number of points? And that's a fair criticism in a way.
Yeah, it is.
But we're also looking at greater things like the depth of the squad,
how long can they
sustain that, etc., etc., etc. But as things stand, they're 3 points behind Arsenal.
It's crazy, eh? Look, it's always good to have like a third team there up there challenging, just disrupting the status quo. I think it's good for Aston Villa, and who knows, eh? Anything is possible. If you just 3 points off the leader, anything is possible. Who they still have to face? If that fixture is coming very soon, eh? If you can just check there for us, Marco, that fixture, that return fixture, Aston Villa Arsenal is coming very soon, and it's gonna be very, very interesting to see how. It would be nice to go into that fixture with the current standings.
Next week they play Manchester United, Chelsea, Arsenal. That's their next 3 fixtures. Those are tough fixtures.
Yeah, tough.
They've got Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Forest, Crystal Palace. That Crystal Palace game is away. They're at home to Man United, but they're away to Chelsea, away to Arsenal.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. But
it's going to be tough. But if they come through that, this next, few weeks, the December, January fixtures, if they come out of that, particularly these 3 December fixtures, because the rest of their December looks rough.
Yeah.
Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal.
Yeah.
If they continue this form and they make it 9 wins in a row, they'll be above Arsenal.
Oof. Yeah. It's crazy if you think about it. Eh? So Arsenal have got bigger problems. Staying on the top, it's tough, eh?
Oh, it's tough.
It's tough, and
it's a long way to the top, and it's a hard road to the top, and it's a longer, harder road to stay at the top.
And I think if Arsenal can if they can just hold on through this December period, they will get that monkey off their shoulders. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I think, but I still believe they can go all the way. I don't know why. I just feel like it's their season. You can't have a team like Wolves scoring for you like that. It just goes to show you. I think the gods of football are with Arsenal, bro.
Oh, that has to be.
I'm telling you,
it has to be. I mean, we've spoken about this so many times before. Is when you're playing horribly against Southampton and you win it in the last minute when you play worse than the opposition team.
Yeah.
That's the hallmark of champions.
Yeah.
You alluded to this earlier.
Yeah.
They have to. But it's just a concern that they're playing badly coming into the December period again.
Yeah,
we've seen Arsenal dip here
which
before.
is, I think, more than anything, it's just the mentality.
Well, I wish them well. I really do. I really want Arsenal to win this.
Not Manchester City.
I'm a United fan. I can't want City to win. But also,
it's always nice
just from footballing terms, Arsenal haven't won in a long time. They've been a good side. They've been there.
Yeah.
If you take the points acquired over the past 4 seasons, I think it is. They're champions.
But it didn't say the same with Liverpool. Yeah, Marco. Liverpool spent years without winning anything, and you were okay, my friend.
I really want Liverpool to get relegated this season. No, they're far too good aside for that. And then we are recording this on Monday, the 15th of December. I know that this will come out after Manchester United play Bournemouth, but for us, that game is yet to happen.
Yeah.
So look forward to match week 17 as we wrap up.
Yeah.
Newcastle have a chance to turn it around against Chelsea, which Chelsea's going to show up on a Saturday, early Saturday fixtures.
Do you know if Chelsea can just be consistent? If Chelsea can just go on a good winning streak of 5-6 games, they're causing problems for everybody there.
For everybody there at the top.
Yeah.
And especially we've been talking about Arsenal's weak mentality. City also haven't been very consistent.
No. I was not even convinced that City were going to beat Crystal Palace. And again, I think Crystal Palace applied the same tactics that they applied when they're playing Manchester City in the cup, and it didn't work out because Manchester City yes, it almost got into their favor. They had clear cut chances, but again, City, when there's Haaland there, all you need is just to provide him with balls. You are gonna guaranteed goals.
That's it. Provide Haaland with some opportunities.
Yeah.
He will get the goals.
But then again, I will say this: I don't think City were a better side in the first half in that match at all. Crystal Palace was all over. That transition was crazy.
There's very few games that you watch where either any side is better than Crystal Palace, particularly in the first half.
Yeah,
Crystal Palace are showing that they needed money to be backed to have a deeper squad.
Yeah,
because the first 11 are good enough to beat just about anyone.
Of course.
But are they good enough to play twice a week?
They're not.
You
can't.
Could
see Mateta was finished.
You can't be playing twice a week with that depth of squad. They need a deeper squad. But listen, Crystal Palace are a good side.
No, they are a good side. I was not really convinced. I'm happy with the win, but I was not convinced that City was going to have it. I thought, if anything, maybe they could sneak in a 1-0 there and there, but to win it with 3-0, I don't think it was a true reflection of that fixture.
But back to Chelsea, I agree with what you're saying. If Chelsea can go on a run and get some wins in the bag, starting this weekend at Newcastle, that puts them in a position where they are testing the mentality of Arsenal and Man City, where they are testing, okay, what are your credentials? What have you got?
Yeah.
Because they'll start knocking on the door again. They're a little bit off the pace right now. But if they go on a consistent run of games, they can push those sides above them.
Yeah, true.
And speaking of a deep squad, Chelsea have a deep squad.
Yeah.
It's as deep as it gets.
Yeah.
But too deep, maybe. So they can challenge on a few fronts, Chelsea. So Newcastle aren't in the best of form. It is St. James's Park. Which Chelsea is going to show up?
Yeah,
that's the question we ask ourselves every week. If the good Chelsea side shows up, now that Cole Palmer's back and playing, maybe. But it's a good time to play Newcastle.
No,
they're not in the best form. Bournemouth, Burnley, we'll skip right over that. And Brighton, Sunderland, we can skip right over that as well. But Manchester City versus West Ham. It's an opportunity for City's at home. It's an opportunity for City to get some goals.
They're playing
because their West Ham defense is all over the place.
And City's playing first this match day week.
Ahead of Arsenal, yes, by a few hours.
Oh, a few hours. I was hoping it's a Sunday. It's always difficult, when teams have to go sleep over your rivals being on top of you, and you have to go win your game to get back to the top. That's the kind of pressure that I want for Arsenal, and if they can get that right and just win like that, I think they'll go all the way.
Then the big fixture. I mean, okay, City West Ham. We expect City to win.
I expect City to win.
I expect by a big margin.
I don't know about big margins, but
I expect it. West Ham still aren't defending well enough. I mean, they got pressed by Aston Villa into just stupid mistakes, just by being pressed.
Yeah.
So, and every team in the Premier League is going to press you.
Of course.
Nuno has to sort that out, and quickly. Wolves, Brentford, skip right over that. Those are two relegation contenders, to be honest.
It's crazy.
Which is crazy because Thomas Frank had that Brentford side looking like a team that's never going to get relegated. Spurs versus Liverpool. That's the blockbuster this weekend. Spurs at home.
You never know.
You never know. Especially with these two sides.
Yeah.
They're both inconsistent. They can both have a stinker of a match on their given day. We know that we're aware when they play well, they can be good sides.
Yeah.
Particularly Liverpool. If Liverpool are going to go there and play well without Salah, because Salah will be
will be gone.
In Morocco.
Yeah.
If Liverpool go to Spurs and play well and win that game, they're going to be pushing for that top 4 again.
Yeah.
Like we said, we think it's too far gone for the league. I think there's just been too many problems in that side. But I fancy Liverpool ever so slightly. But again,
Spurs is at home.
I won't be putting any money on that fixture.
No.
Because you don't know who's showing up.
For me, that's escape. Chelsea and Spurs, it's escape.
Skip. Yeah. You don't know who's showing up today. Then Arsenal travel to Everton. I think that Arsenal have too much for Everton ever so slightly.
Yeah.
But
Everton
if
at
they're
home
not
as well.
rocked by that Wolves, if they've taken that Wolves result or the Wolves performance and said, this will wake up call, we need to put it in, then you fancy Arsenal to go against anyone.
Yeah.
But if they feel knocked and the confidence is out of them, if they start to worry like, we weren't very good against Wolves, we could have lost that game. We should have lost that game against Wolves.
And then
if they come in with that niggling on their mind,
they're going to have problems.
Everton can get at you.
Yeah. And more so even if City wins as well, it's another problem.
It's another problem with City playing ahead of them. Crystal Palace Leeds.
Yeah.
Who's coming? I think Palace are a better side.
But Leeds can hold their own.
Leeds can hold their own. They're not a bad side, although they're just trying to survive, whereas Crystal Palace have different ambitions. Then Sunday, blockbuster number 2, Aston Villa Park, Manchester United.
I think
this is a top 4 battle.
Yeah,
in some ways. I'm not sure Man United are too much like top 4 contenders really as things stand. Like looking at them, I hope so. And it might be my bias thinking to myself, hey, they've got a good shot at getting top 4. They might be a top 6 side as things stand, and they might have to wait a little bit longer before they really are a Champions League side. But sure, not a good time for United to be going to Villa Park.
No,
in the
not
sort
a
of
good
form
side
that
at
this
all.
Villa side is.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, depending on how they play, they would have played against Bournemouth. If they go to like 28 points and then you win against Villa, it's like what? 31 points. You're right up there in the alley, just knocking on the door of top 4.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it would be interesting.
And,
but I fancy Villa to just edge Manchester United slightly.
I do see a win for Aston Villa in this game.
Nah, I think so too.
And then Fulham against Nottingham Forest, a little bit of a relegation battle in a way. But
unpredictable. Those are like unpredictable games, eh?
I do think both those sides are good sides. And I think they're both too good to be relegated. Especially with Sean Dyche there.
Nah, Sean Dyche, I think he's going to save
Forest. I think so.
I know in the beginning I wanted Forest to go, but you can't deny what the work that Sean Dyche has put in that team.
I agree. And that's a wrap of our Premier League action. We will see you again when it's AFCON time. Morocco 25-26. I always get confused with how to call a tournament. This is AFCON 2026.
Yeah.
But it's like it's starting in 2025. What's the story? It's weird.
It's crazy, bro.
It's weird. So we've wrapped up our Premier League action. Let's go to AFCON for just a minute. Premier League sides or European sides losing players to AFCON.
Yo, bro. Yeah, there's few of them. I came across these stats. I think
in the Premier League, I think the team that is most susceptible to a downturn because of AFCON, or the team that's most impacted by AFCON, is Manchester United.
Yeah, because you're losing about 3 players.
Losing 3 players, and I think that United are losing their most impressive player of the season so far, Brian Mbeumo. So I think Ahmad is key.
Hey, bro,
and then the thing about Ahmad is that his best replacement at right back is Mazraoui, who's also going to AFCON. So now Man United are really stuck with one option at right back, at right wing back, and that's Dalot. I'm a fan of Diogo Dalot. I think he's been playing quite well in recent weeks at left back. And it's not even his preferred position. He's better as a right back than he is as a left back, I think. So I hope Man United manage with him. But if there's an injury to Dalot, that's a real problem for Manchester United.
Yeah. But the side that will be mostly affected is Sunderland. They have got 6 players going to AFCON.
Sure. Hey, good thing the derby was before.
Yeah,
that derby win's more important than a title.
Fulham 3, Burnley 3, Everton 2, Wolves 2, they can just go in peace, those two.
Nah, they can go in peace.
Yeah. Crystal Palace 2, Manchester City 2, Brentford 2, Nottingham Forest 2, Tottenham 2, West Ham 2, Liverpool 1, Brighton 1, Aston Villa 1, and the rest is 0-0-0. Chelsea 0. Yeah, that's a first. Chelsea not having players going to Africa.
What happened?
Yeah.
Jose Mourinho's not there anymore.
Yeah, no, of course, yeah. No, it's crazy. But yeah, Sunderland, I wonder.
Sure. How will this impact them? Look, Sunderland bought a lot of players. So to lose 6 players, the thing, you'd have to see how that impacts the starting 11 over impacting the entirety of the squad. Because they spent a lot in the summer, not necessarily as much as some of the bigger sides. Obviously, FFP would never allow them to. But they restructured their squad. They were the biggest buyers of players in terms of numbers in the Premier League this season. So I think they've got quite a deep squad. But 6 players is a difficult one to overcome and to swallow.
Maybe I'm exaggerated a bit, but it looks like with what I've just checked here, it's 5 players. What I got: Chesmedin Talbi, Morocco; Ronaldo, Mandava, Mozambique; Bertrand Traore, Burkina Faso; Arthur Masuku, DR Congo; and Noah Sadiki, DR Congo.
Yeah, it's a big loss.
Yeah, it's true.
It's a big loss. Those are good players. Those are good players, and it's a big loss for Sunderland.
Yeah.
And at least you'll get your Mozambican player back in a week or 2, and then.
Hey, bro. Yeah, not true. Yeah, no. Okay. They're just going there to honor the fixtures.
Bertrand Traore with Burkina Faso as well. He might just be back earlier than you expect as well.
No, not true.
And then my last question to you before we wrap up the episode for the day. AFCON. Should we be stubborn as Africa and say this is when we host our tournament? This is when we host our tournament. The problem is yours? Or is it in the end detrimental to African football for the impact it has to African players? Because as much as European clubs are still keen, looking at that list, European clubs are still keen to take a risk on an African player, knowing that they're going to miss out on a few fixtures in a season. How keen?
I think it's very much important to align our tournament with the normal European football calendar, which we all accustomed to.
Because it's not only Africa who should be doing that. You look at South America, and they should be aligning their tournaments to the UEFA Euro.
That's what we're accustomed to, right?
Yeah.
So even if it means in the years where Europa, what you call?
The Euros.
Euros are playing, because I think that was also part of the problem, because AFCON is every 2 years, and then Euros is every 4 years. So there were going to be times where.
But then there's UEFA Nations League as well.
Yeah.
Now. So they're not only having tournaments every 4 years.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, even if that is the problem, you have now, I think we can really deal with having 2 tournaments playing at the same time. I don't think it's a problem. You just have to choose which games you want to watch, because I think that was part of the problem. But to play it now when leagues like English Premier League are continuing, yes, other leagues do close for Christmas, but it's a very brief period. In January they're resuming, and some players will still be involved in the national
In Premier
team.
League, you missed 4 fixtures.
Yeah. So,
in Italy, I think you missed 2.
Yeah. So I think it's sort of like disadvantage African players. There are teams, especially the so-called small teams, that might look at getting players from Africa and think, hey, what happens in a situation like Wolves now? They're losing 2 players. They're in a relegation battle.
They're losing as many players as they've got points.
You get what I mean? Just add salt into the wound, So it might just disadvantage African players. I think it would be nice to have it during the June break.
More on AFCON next week. I'm Marco Martins.
I'm Mulalo Musuphi.
This is Black and White Boots.
Danko.
Danko means thank you.